Hi everyone, my name is Tammy and this is my first video of Tammy's Creative Cards and Crafts. And what I'm going to be teaching you today is how to make bowl cozies. And this is a bowl cozy. They're very popular. There's lots of videos on the internet. This is one of the ones I've made here. This is there's two different sizes. There's 12-inch and 10-inch. This is a 12-inch one that I've made, so you can use them for a little bit bigger bowls. And this is a 10-inch bowl cozy I made. They are great for if you want to make hot soup, or if you have anything that you're putting into the microwave and you don't want to burn your hands. You just put your bowl in there and put it in the microwave. You can put them in for up to about 5 minutes and feel secure that you're not going to burn your hands when you take it out. It's also reversible, so you can turn it in the other way if you spill a little bit on the other side. They're completely washable, and yeah, they're great. I make quite a bit at the craft shows, and they're really popular. So if you'd like to stick around today, I'm going to show you how to make these. And they're quite simple. There's not a lot to them, and yeah. So what you'll need is, I'm going to be showing you today how to make the 10-inch ones. And what you'll need is 2 pieces of 100% cotton material. So you can use any pattern that you want as long as it's 100% cotton. So this is just the 2 pieces I had today. And also you would need 2 pieces of cotton batting. And it has to be 100% microwavable cotton batting. And you can buy these in packages. Pellon has microwavable cotton batting, or you can ask somebody at a fabric store what cotton batting is microwavable, and they'll point you in the right direction. So what I have here is 2 10 by 10 inch pieces of material and 2 10 by 10 inch pieces of cotton batting, and I've backed each piece of cotton with the cotton batting, and so they fit exact the same size. And so what you're going to do after you put that on top is, if you need to iron that at all, you can just iron it down, and just to make it nice and so it's not wrinkled. So what you're going to do is go to your machine. I'm using a Janome machine, and but I mean, you're free to use whatever sewing machine you have. You have to also use 100% cotton thread. All these things that I am explaining to you is to make it safe for the microwave. Because if you use polyester thread or a different type of material, it can cause problems in the microwave and possibly catch fire. So these are the reasons that you have to use the 100% cotton. So when you take your 10 by 10 piece of material to your machine, start at one corner and just put your pressure foot down. And you're just going to sew diagonal from one corner to the other. And so just a basic stitch. I just have it on 3.5. And just a basic stitch going across from one corner to the other. And then once you finish on that side, you're going to go to the opposite corner. You see here, I'm not sure if you can see it. You can see it on that side possibly. See, I've just sewn it diagonally across. So what you're going to do now is sew at this corner and diagonally go across again. So basically you're going to have an X going across your material. And that's just going to help it hold the material down on your batting when you have your bowl cozy. Makes it a little bit more adhere if you put it in the wash and such. So you're going to do that to both pieces of your material, which will be essentially your bottom and your top piece. I'll just speed through this really quickly. Some videos, I'm going to try to slow things down. I know there's lots of other people on YouTube that they go quite fast, so I'm not a little experienced sewer, but I'm not an expert, and so I appreciate some of the other videos out there that you can kind of sew along with, and so that's the type of videos I'm going to be. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you can subscribe below and hit the bell, and you'll know when I'm putting new videos on there. And that's the type of videos I'm going to be having, where you can kind of follow along. There'll be videos on sewing and card making and all kinds of different variety of things involving crafts. So now that we have the two pieces with the X going through them, what you're going to do now is you're going to fold over with the good sides together and the batting on the outside. Fold the material in half, and you need to make yourself a little template. And I just took a little piece of cardboard, and what you need to do is measure, I just have a little measuring tape here, 1 inch at the top and 2 inches down the side. So I made myself a little measuring tape here, or sorry, a little template here out of cardboard, and that way I can keep using it over and over. So I can put that at the corner and just take my fabric pen, and I can mark on there. You're going to mark right off where your little template was, okay? And then you're going to turn that around and do the same thing there. So flip your little template over. So it's going to be at 1 inch across and 2 inches down. And then mark off again with your little fabric pen, okay? And just before you sew this, just tuck your finger in there where I'm showing you, because sometimes the material bunches up a little bit. So just to make sure it's nice and clear. And then stick it under your foot there again, and you're just going to sew down, sorry, my hand's in the way. You're just going to sew down that line where you made with the marker. And it's just making a little dart, okay? And you're going to do down at the other one. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to, now you have your two darts here, one here and one here. You're going to open your material up and fold over and put your corners together like that, and fold it here again. So you're going to make 2 more darts on the other side. You're going to take your template again, put it up here, make another line, And the same on the other side. Make sure your corners are good and together, even. And make your line. And then you're going to go back to your sewing machine and sew your dart in place. There's no need to backspace or anything because you're just going to cut that off. Okay, and okay, so what it should look like is you have two darts here and a dart here and a dart here, and when you open it up you'll have like something that looks like that. Okay, almost one on every corner, if you can see that. Okay, and so what I need to do now is do that same thing on the other piece. Okay, so again, you're going to do off the corners. Go to the machine. Another dart. Thread was getting away on me there. And then open it up and do your other two darts. I realize this is my first video. If there's any comments you'd like to make on ways that I can improve, maybe I need the camera back a little bit, or anything that you would like to see, please be kind in your comments. As I said, it's my first video. I'd be happy to listen to any comments that you might have for me, and I welcome them. Okay, so now that we have our 4 darts on each one, what you're going to do is take your scissors and you're going to clip off each of your darts, okay? And you're going to go as close to the sewed edge as possible, but do not, you know, of course, cut your stitch line, because you want to cut off as much bulk as you can. That'll be better for when you're sewing around. Go back to your other piece and repeat the same thing. So you're gonna go as close as you can to the seam. Go all the way around. It's good to have sharp scissors. And the last one. Okay. And now what you're going to do is decide which piece is going to be your bottom. So I think this one is going to be my bottom piece. So what you're going to do is you take your top piece and you turn it right side in. Okay, so turn it so the right side is facing your bottom piece, and you're going to put that inside facing down and line up all of your seam lines and your points. So go all the way around, and if you have pins, that's great. If you have some of those Wonder clips, then that's great, use those. And you're going to go all the way around and pin it all the way around so that you can sew it on the machine next. These clips are great. I have just recently changed from the pins and the many pricks in my finger from using the pins and stabbing myself with them, so I'm happy to switch over to these clips. They're a big help. So yeah, and just make sure that when you're going around that the seams line up. You might have to adjust it a little bit. It'll all fit together. When you do the darts the same going around, it does end up fitting together. So when you almost get around, you come to the last one, and you want to leave a gap, probably about 2 to 3 inch gap, and that's going to be where you can turn the bowl cozy inside back the right way. So you want to leave that opening. So just leave that where you're not going to sew. Maybe you want to put a pin or something to remind you not to sew there. Okay, and what I like to do is when I'm coming around here, I like to just come here and go around the corner when I'm sewing that, because it kind of gives you this little finished edge, and it's easier when you're finishing it at the end. So if I when I'm sewing this, I'll come up around here, and then I will come around this corner almost to where that pin head is, if you can see it. So you'll have this finished edge, and I find it just easier at the end. You'll see what I mean when I show you how to sew this. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start sewing this around. I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to do about a 1/2 inch seam all the way around. Okay, so when you get to the seams here where the darts are, you're going to pivot your foot. So I'm going to try to move this so you can see on the sewing machine here. Okay. So come to about a 1/2 inch and sew down, coming to the seam. When you get to the seam, lift your presser foot up and turn it and drop it down and continue on. Go slow over the seams because, you know, with the batting and the cotton, there's quite a bit of material there, and sometimes your needle can have a difficult time catching over everything. And just lift your presser foot up and turn and go down. Slow down over the seams, and then lift up your presser foot. Go around the corner. A little bit more there. Go around the corner. You want to make sure that you're catching all your material and your batting, because if not, you'll open it up and find out that some of it didn't catch. So, and I've done it, and then you just have to go back and turn it in back the right way, and just sew a little bit more on the seam. So it's not the end of the world. It's just, you know, you just have to catch it up a little bit, and it's not a big deal. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. It's all about trial and error. And anybody that you're giving this to, I'm sure they'll be happy just to get the gift. And that's what it's all about. So this is the part where you come with the pin here. So I'm coming around the corner where I want to leave this part open. So I just want to come around the corner just about an inch, and I'm going to backspace there and then end it there. Now I'm going to cut off my little threads. And the other thing I want to do is take off some of this bulk that's on the corners. Now what you want to do is make sure you cut, but don't cut into your seam there. And you want to cut off some of this bulk because it just makes it easier and looks better when you're trying to turn it out. Okay, so you can cut off a little bit of that bulk. Take off the corner there. And it turns a little bit nicer. The edges look a little bit better when you take off that little bit of bulk. So what you have now is the bowl cozies all sewed around. And now what I'm going to do is turn it in the other way. And I see a spot where, and now this is what I was just explaining to you, sometimes it went where it didn't catch. So what I'm going to do is just backtrack here and just catch over this spot. It's better to catch this now than to catch it after it actually went and we already turned it through. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's just as simple as going back over and finding the spot, fixing it, and it took 5 seconds to fix that. So there you go. So now I have a quick look here and just make sure that all the seams are caught and everything. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to find the spot that I left for the opening. What you're going to do is kind of tuck your fingers in there and gently pull out the material the other way. So it's almost like it's a surprise. What's it going to look like? This is like one of my favorite parts. So just gradually, it may take a minute or two. You might like to leave your hole a little bit bigger than mine, but I just take my time with it, and it eventually will just gradually come through. Just pull it little bit by bit, and it'll work itself through. Once you get it all out, it'll be great. And once you get it turned inside out, or sorry, the right way, I'm going to go back to that little corner there that I went around and just poke that out with my finger. And then go to all the other corners and poke them out really good with your finger. Kind of fix the edges nice and flat. Fix all the edges. Then go to the corner there again. Poke them out good with your finger. actually see one more little piece here. Unfortunately, that didn't catch, so sorry about that. I'm just going to fix that. Okay, and let's poke this out. Okay. And so basically, there's your bowl cozy after it's all poked out and everything. And what you want to do now is just shape it down, give it so it has the right shape, and just want to fix that corner there. And now you're going to go to the part that you left open and flatten all that in there with the batting, the seam. Put your finger in there and kind of flatten it out, make it nice and perfect. Just want to cut that little thread off. And so what you're going to do now is go around and put a little seam all the way around to kind of finish it. Okay. So you don't need to go in too far, just basically maybe a ½ inch on the top. Again, you want to slow down at the seams because there's a lot of batting in there, and your needle might not like that so much. So just go around, go slow, take your time. It's supposed to be relaxing. Again, lift your pressure foot, press your foot up, to the end here. It didn't really take that long to make these at all. You can make quite a few. They're great for gifts. You can make them for your own family, make everyone in your family one. And you'd be surprised of how much people really love these. You have to keep an eye on your own because once somebody gets their hands on them, they'll be a hot commodity in the house. So they sell quite a few of these at the craft sale, and I didn't have any left this year after the craft show was over. So they're pretty popular. So just at the end here, I'm just going to come around the corner and finish it off. And there we go. So once I trim these little threads off, and right here, okay, so there is my 10-inch bowl cozy that you can put your hot soup in, or your stew or whatever else it is that you like to heat up in the microwave in a bowl. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I hope you come back and check out my next video. It could be on cards or some other craft, but I thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video today. And yeah, this was my first video, and I welcome your comments. Please click the subscribe button and hit the bell, and you'll be notified of when I put up my next video. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to everybody. And yes, God bless. Bye-bye.